Welcome to the Night Files. Tonight's tale drags you deep into the cold corridors of a hospital morgue. So close your eyes, put on your earphones, and imagine every whisper, every shadow, because this story, you won't forget it. My name is Sebastian Crane, and I work the night shift as a mortuary technician at St. Joseph's Medical Center, Chicago. I've been doing this for over 12 years, long enough to become numb to the sounds, the smells, the weight of death. At least, I used to be. The morgue is 3 floors below the ER. Old wing, yellowed walls, flickering lights, silence that makes you hear your own heartbeat. It's just me, the dead, and the hum of the freezer units. I liked the quiet until C-19 showed up. It was delivered around 11:30 p.m. Unclaimed male, mid-30s. Trauma to the head and face. No ID, no matching fingerprints, no name. The ER nurse wheeled the gurney in and left without a word. That's how you know they're rattled, when they don't even try to make a joke. When I pulled back the sheet, the first thing I noticed were the eyes. Open, crystal blue, not cloudy, too fresh. They looked at me. I slid him into drawer C-19, locked it, and logged it. Just another nameless soul. Or so I thought. Around 2:45 a.m., I heard a bang. Muffled, metallic, like a drawer slamming open. I went into the freezer. C-19 was open. The body was still there, but the eyes were shut now. I didn't shut them. I remember that clearly. I locked the drawer again and pushed. A stainless steel card in front of the freezer. Heart beating fast, palms sweaty inside latex gloves. Then the lights flickered. The buzzing above me grew louder. One bulb popped, rained down shards over the autopsy table. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Bare. On tile. I opened the morgue door, but no one was there. Just the flickering hallway. The next night, I asked William, the graveyard shift IT guy, to pull the camera footage from the freezer corridor. At around 2:50 a.m., we watched together as the drawer labeled C-19 slid open on its own. The corpse sat up, not in a jerky, post-mortem twitch kind of way. It was smooth, controlled. It turned its head to look directly into the camera. Then it laid back down, and the drawer closed itself. That night, I came in early. I wanted to check the drawer before things got strange again. C-19 was locked, still sealed. I opened it, half expecting to see an empty slab. Nope, the body was there, still pale, still bruised. But this time, his mouth was open, as if frozen in mid-scream. I didn't touch anything. I just shut it again and sat down at my desk, keeping an eye on the security monitor showing the freezer. Around 3:15 a.m., the lights flickered again. Then all at once, they shut off completely. Total darkness. The monitor blinked. Static. Then, through the pitch-black morgue, I heard breathing. Close. Wet. Right behind me. I turned and shined my flashlight. Nothing. But when I turned back toward the monitor, someone had written across the screen in condensation, "I remember you." I backed out fast, slammed the door shut, called William. He thought I was losing it. Maybe I was. Maybe lack of sleep, the cold, the silence. Maybe it was finally cracking me. But then I checked the air vent in the freezer. It's too small for a person, maybe 18 inches wide. Inside, stuck in the grate, was a blood-stained hospital bracelet. The name read, Sebastian Crane. I froze. That bracelet was mine from a decade ago, after my appendectomy. It had my full name, birth date, and a unit number I hadn't seen in years. How the hell did it end up in a morgue vent? Unless someone or something put it there. The next morning, I pulled old records from the hospital archive. I found a dusty black binder titled Unclaimed Cadavers, 1980 to 2002. In the 1990s, there was a patient named William Ellis, same first name as my IT friend. This William, however, had died under suspicious conditions during a psych evaluation. No family, no autopsy, but it was the photo stapled to the intake sheet that froze my blood. It was the same face I'd seen in drawer C19, but he had both eyes missing in the file photo. The corpse I had intact blue eyes. I kept reading. Turns out, St. Joseph's had a history of illegal experiments on psych patients. In the old sublevels, back when it was partially a military hospital, rumors about sensory deprivation tests, near-death experiments, patients buried alive to test fear reactions. Some said the morgue used to be an observation wing. There were rooms behind the walls, sealed up long ago. Rooms no one was allowed to access until now. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those cold blue eyes staring at me. I had to go back. The next night, I brought bolt cutters and a pry bar. I waited until security was rotating cameras, then slipped into the morgue. The back wall behind the freezer had a faint seam, like a fake panel. Paint slightly newer. I jammed the pry bar into the edge and pulled. It cracked open. Behind it was a hidden hallway. No lights. Smelled like rot and rust. I followed it, step by step, into an old observation room. Broken mirrors. A rusted hospital bed with restraints. Dried blood on the walls. Something was scratched into the floor. I see you, Sebastian. And in the corner, a mirror. Old, tilted. When I looked into it, the reflection showed the room as it used to be, clean, white, occupied. I saw myself, but younger, in a patient's gown, strapped to the bed, and someone, a doctor, cutting open my chest. The lights in the real room flickered. A loud bang echoed behind me. I turned around, and the corpse from C19 stood in the doorway. Only now, its face was whole, normal, wearing a hospital gown, smiling. It said, in a voice that echoed like wind through a tunnel,
"Welcome back to treatment, Mr. Crane."
I blacked out. I woke up in my apartment. No idea how I got there. My front door was still locked from the inside. My phone was dead, and on my kitchen table was my old hospital ID badge. From 2009, the photo was of me, but the name under it said, William Ellis. That night, I went back to confront William in IT. He stared at the badge and went pale. "Dude," he whispered, "this guy died here before you were hired. We found him in the elevator shaft, crushed, but his body was never recovered." I said nothing, just walked back to the morgue. I had to finish it. Inside the freezer, drawer C19 was slightly ajar. I pulled it open. Empty. Then I heard a voice behind me. Switching places is easy. The hard part is remembering which side of the drawer you're on. I turned. The lights blew out. All of them. Darkness swallowed me whole. They found Sebastian's body the next morning. Heart attack, they said. He was found inside drawer C19, which had never been used. According to the morgue log, his eyes were open, blue, clear, watching. Most people don't know what it's like to be truly alone. Not that nobody texts me alone, but the kind of alone where your footsteps echo, your ears ring from silence, and you question whether you're still awake, or if your brain is playing tricks on you. That's what the night shift in a hospital morgue is like. Cold, still, isolated. A place not even security wants to patrol. My name is Samuel, and I've been working the graveyard shift at Linton Memorial Hospital for the past 6 months. I mostly log in new arrivals, transfer them to the walk-in cooler, and prep them for autopsy if needed. But drawer 46 was something else. The label had red tape around it, a note scribbled on masking tape across the handle. Do not open. No exceptions. I asked my coworker Owen about it on my second week. He shook his head and said, "They say it moves." That's all I'll say. I laughed it off. Hospitals are full of dark humor. But over time, I started noticing weird things. The cooler's temp would drop drastically when I stood near drawer 46. The handle would vibrate slightly, even when everything else was still. And twice, I found the drawer slightly ajar, though I always locked it at shift start. No one ever claimed the body inside. No file, no record, like it never existed. But something inside that drawer wanted to be seen. One night, during a citywide power outage, the morgue lights flickered out completely. Backup generators kept the walk-in cooler running, but the main corridor was black. I lit a lantern and walked back to check temperatures. That's when I heard the whisper, soft, coming from the vents. Then closer, right near my ear. "Let me out." I spun, nearly dropped the light. The room was empty. I looked at drawer 46, open 2 inches. The cold pouring from it was like Arctic wind, fogging my glasses. I stepped closer, and I swear to God, I saw a hand, gray, long-fingered, pulled back into the darkness inside the drawer. I slammed it shut, locked it, and went home early. The next morning, I got a call from Owen. "Check the cooler cam." 3:12 a.m. I did. In the grainy black and white footage, I saw myself standing near drawer 46. But I wasn't holding a lantern. I was just staring into the drawer, mouth slightly open, eyes wide, like I was in a trance. Then my body glitched, jerked unnaturally. Frame by frame, my head twisted far more than it should have. Then I calmly shut the drawer, but I never remembered any of it. I finally convinced Owen to help me open the drawer during daylight. We waited until everyone was gone, turned off the cameras. We slid it open slowly. Inside was a body bag, unzipped halfway. What we saw made us both reel backward. The corpse was burnt black, but not from fire. It looked wrong, like it had been cooked from the inside out. Eyes sunken, mouth frozen in a twisted, agonized scream. And the worst part? Its arms were bent up toward its face, but the elbows had broken backward, like it had tried to claw its own face off. We resealed it and tried to push the drawer back. It wouldn't close. Then the lights went out again, and the whispers returned. "Help me. I see you. I know your name." Then pounding from inside the drawer. We shoved it closed, bolted it shut with steel clamps, and duct taped the entire thing. But that night, when I got home, I found bloody fingerprints across my bathroom mirror. 5 long smears, like someone had been watching me from the other side. Owen and I dug deeper. Hospital blueprints, archived files. Turns out, Drawer 46 wasn't supposed to exist. The morgue only had 45 drawers on the plan. We pried off the paneling around drawer 46, and behind it was a steel chute leading straight down into an unlit sub-basement. It wasn't listed anywhere. We descended, one step at a time, using headlamps. We found a door labeled Specimen Recovery, 1973. Inside were rows of sealed tanks, filled with twisted, mutilated remains. Jars of eyes, bones shaped wrong. It was like they'd tried to reassemble the dead from memory and failed. Then we found a single autopsy table, lights still hanging above it, buzzing faintly. On the table, another body, but this one was me. Same face, same tattoo, same birthmark on the neck. Eyes open, watching. A recorder next to it played a message over and over. Drawer 46 is a mirror. What goes in must come out. Every version of you that dies in your sleep ends up here. Suddenly, the table behind me creaked. I turned. Owen was on the floor, his mouth sewn shut. And above us, from the chute, something heavy slammed down the metal walls. Getting closer. That was 3 nights ago. They found Owen's body, but not mine. Drawer 46 is still sealed, taped, guarded. But every night, someone hears it whisper, "This isn't the end. He's not the first, and won't be the last." Some places are just wrong. Not haunted, not cursed, just fundamentally wrong. Lansford Asylum was one of them. It was condemned in 1984 after a fire, but its underground morgue remained sealed. Every time I walked past the old building as a kid, I felt this pressure, like the air got thicker, heavier. Years later, my best friend Leo dared me to break in with him. We're both horror YouTubers, urban explorers, ghost story types. This was supposed to be our biggest video ever. We got in through a basement window. Inside, everything was rotting, tiles caked in dried blood, wheelchairs tipped over in the hall, silent gurneys left mid-roll. The morgue door was chained shut. Leo grinned. "You filming?" I nodded, and we snipped the bolt with cutters. The air behind that door felt like opening a freezer full of death. The smell hit first, like rot, chemicals, and something sweet. Wrong sweet. Rows of drawers lined the far wall. Most were rusted shut, except one, drawer 13, slightly open, like it was waiting. Leo pulled it open fully, filming for his vlog. Inside was a body bag, blackened, shriveled, but not decomposed. Almost mummified. No tag, no name. Then we found the diary. It was stuffed under the corpse, nearly turned to paper mush. On the first page, in shaking ink, "To whoever finds this, I was the morgue keeper. My name is Jack. Do not touch the patient in drawer 13. He's not dead. He's listening." We took the diary home. That was the first mistake. The second was reading it aloud. It detailed Jack's job, maintaining corpses, cleaning autopsy tables, tagging the dead. But every few pages, the tone changed. "He moves at night. I seal him with salt. It doesn't hold. He whispers from inside me when I sleep." Jack described how patients started going missing from their drawers, how the body in drawer 13 was transferred from a mass grave, but never rotted, how his eyes kept opening when no one was looking. Jack began hearing knocking from inside the drawer. Once he opened it, I saw my own face in the bag, eyes wide, mouth sewn shut. We stopped reading after that. That night, at 3:13 a.m., Leo called me. His voice was trembling. Bro, I saw something in my bathroom mirror. I rushed over. His place was trashed. Broken glass, drawers flung open. In his bathroom, scrawled across the steamed mirror, were the words, "He's not in the drawer anymore." Leo hadn't written it. In his left hand, his fingertips were blistered, like they'd been burned from the inside. We went back to the asylum. I had to see drawer 13 again. I had to burn that diary. Whatever Jack had let out, we had to put it back. The morgue was colder this time, like the walls were bleeding ice. As we entered, our flashlights flickered. Static buzzed in our cameras. Drawer 13 was open, empty. Then the lights died. In pitch black, I heard something breathing. Not human. Slow. Wet. Leo screamed, "He's behind you." And I turned, swinging the light. There was nothing there. But Leo was gone. Only his phone remained, buzzing on the ground. On its screen, a live feed. Leo's point of view, running through corridors, breathing heavy, crying. Then the screen jerked, and for a split second, I saw the figure. Stitched face, no mouth, sunken black eyes, wearing Leo's hoodie. I ran out of the asylum. Didn't stop until morning. That night, I finally read the last diary page. It becomes whoever it kills. The drawer isn't a tomb. It's a door. Once opened, it opens you. It's been 3 days. Leo's still missing. But that's not the worst part. My reflection doesn't match me anymore. In mirrors, I blink wrong. My jaw twitches unnaturally. I caught myself smiling when I wasn't. Sometimes I hear Leo's voice from the closet, begging, "Daniel, don't let him wear you. Please." I don't sleep, because when I do, I wake up standing over my bed, covered in blood I can't explain, with pieces of flesh under my nails. Tonight, I found my camera still recording from the morgue trip. The footage was corrupted, except one clear frame. It showed me unzipping drawer 13, climbing in, smiling. There's no Daniel anymore, just the drawer, and whatever came out of it. Final note: if you see a video of mine uploaded after this, don't watch it, don't comment, don't share. That's not me telling the story anymore. It's what wore my skin.